Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience and welcome to the July meeting of the Audit and Finance Committee. I will call the meeting to order and ask for approval of the adoption of the agenda.
Make it a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes from the June 7th, 2022 meeting. Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is the 2023-28 capital program. Ms. Shaw.
Yes, good afternoon. This item is being presented as a reallocation to move $1.5 million of long-term debt that was originally allocated for Morningside Middle School for the design, to move that funding over to AC Cochran as well as Deer Park Middle School, long-term debt funding. In May of this year, the Board of Trustees approved use of $1.5 million of the Phase 4 excess revenues for Morningside. Therefore, we no longer needed that $1.5 million of long-term debt that was allocated for Morningside. Therefore, we're wanting to move that $1.5 million over to AC Cochran and Deer Park. This item is being presented as a reallocation.
Are there any questions about this particular item?
So just so maybe Mr. Kennedy can help me understand this. This is long-term debt that we're reallocating. Could we not use it to pay down the debt? Or, and second to that is, are these projects that existed before the reallocation?
I can answer that question, Ms. Coates, Mr. Kennedy. These projects did exist before the reallocation. The three projects were approved last year by the Board of Trustees to move ahead with long-term debt. We just did not allocate funding to these two projects. This will allow us to jumpstart these two projects that were in limbo.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? If not, this is an item, action item. I will entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And my computer is down, but I don't know what's going on with it. The approval of projects for $250,000 or more. Mr. Wilshire.
Hi, Ms. Joyce. I'll be covering
Oh,
that
you're gonna
item
cover that.
today. Yes, ma'am. So what we have submitted here is the procurement items that are greater than 250,000. The total submission we have right now is 11 items totaling 7.6 million. They range based on fund source, and they also range based on the line items and summaries. Are there any questions about the items being presented?
Is there anything, Shauna, on the list? I went through the list, but is there anything on the list that you think we need to take note of? I mean, that may be a little bit out of the ordinary or anything. I didn't see anything, but.
There's nothing that I would flag in particular. There's just an array of items that are covered. Some of the items include partnerships with University of Virginia. We also have the bus contract with First Student to accommodate those schedules and CAS enrollment. There's just a variety of items on here, but nothing that I would highlight out of the ordinary.
Okay. Any questions from anyone on the committee?
Quick question. I know in previous audits, procurement audits, there were findings around vendor selections or that type of thing? Or the process that's being done now, is this process more in line with the recommendations from the audit? So that-
Somebody needs to, please mute your lines if you aren't talking, because I'm having a hard time understanding. Somebody's making some noise in the background. And Velma, I'm sorry, but I need you to ask that question again.
I was just wondering about, just to want to ensure that some of the issues surrounding the procurements, the major procurements that were found in the previous audits, that with these procurements, a couple of years down the road, we're not going to have those same types of findings. So just to make sure that the vendor selection process is in line with recent audit recommendations.
Thank you for that question. So for any of the procurement auditing findings from past procurements, or when we had the procedures audited, they were cured. So we have already done the corrective action plans for those. We are in the process of going through the disparity study still, which looks at our procurement process. So we don't have the findings from that particular engagement yet, but we will coming up this fall.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve these projects to move forward.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Monthly capital projects report, Ms. Costello.
Thank you, Ms. Green, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to present the May 2022 Capital Projects Report. Our revenue collections for the month of April were $4 million above our 2% projected revenue. For expenditures, the 2010 through 2016 capital building program had $20,000 in expenses. The 2017 through 2022 capital building program had $5.7 million in expenditures. The 2023 through 2028 capital building program had $5.6 million in expenditures. Capital maintenance 8% funding had $65,000 in expenditures, and we are currently working on this fixed cost of ownership fiscal year 23 projects, and they're going well. Any questions or comments that I can answer?
Any questions regarding the monthly capital projects report? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
And the next is the monthly financial report. Ms. Carlin?
Hi, Ms. Green. I'll be presenting that
Okay.
item. So where we are right now, this is a snapshot of where we project to end to finish the FY22 fiscal year. So as of now, we're projecting to have $4.1 million revenues over expenditures. There were a number of factors that contributed to that. So I'll cover the highlights. So for revenue, we saw an increase of $9 million from what we anticipated in the budget due to taxes, real property, as well as heavy equipment rentals. For expenses, comparable to, in the expenses, what we did was we are recovering $15 million reduction wise in expenditures, largely from the mask mandate vacancies, other vacancy savings, as well as the spending and hiring freeze that we implemented earlier this year. There's some other activity in there. As we talk about, the charter school payments increased due to their 135-day enrollment. The district actually saw a decrease of approximately $1 million, $2 million due to our 135-day final count. So the net of all that activity leaves us in with a $4.1 million estimated year end revenue over expenses. And what it does for our fund balance, with all of the activity, we're able to put back into fund balance 25.1 million over what we had anticipated we needed from the beginning of the year. So again, revenue over expenses for fiscal 22, 4.1 million, rolling back into fund balance. The total impact of fund balance, rolling back into fund balance from what we anticipated at the beginning of the budget year is 25.1 million. Any questions?
Any questions on the financial report? Okay, well, geez, this is a record. I'm gonna have to talk to the board about, the regular board about this. That is the last item on our regular agenda. Does any of the committee members have any questions about anything that we've covered today? Everybody good? Okay, if not, then we are gonna move into executive session.
We still have people on Zoom, Angie.
Good morning, Tati.
No, I don't see it yet.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we are back in open session. During executive session, we took up 2 items, and I will entertain a motion on the District 10 contractual matter with Carolina Voyager.
So moved.
I'll second. Can we state the motion?
Pardon, I'm sorry, Cindy.
I said I'll second, but can we state the motion on the record, please?
Angela, do you have the wording for the motion? Because I don't have it right in
Yes,
front of me.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I have it. So
Okay.
the motion is to amend the current facilities lease agreement to end June 30th, 2024 at the St. Andrews campus with Carolina Voyager Charter School.
Okay, and are we going to put the stipulation about the quarterly update? Are we gonna add?
I will
Is that-
include that in the facility use agreement.
Okay, all right, very good. Everybody clear on what the motion is?
Mhm.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Then we will, the item relating to District 10 and Paterson Academy. And Angela, would you just read that motion as well?
Yes, ma'am. The motion is to amend the current facilities lease agreement to end June 30th, 2027 at the St. Andrews campus with Paterson's Academy.
I move for that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, both items have been approved. The next is the board agenda items. Shauna?
Yes, ma'am. So after the 2023-28 capital program items, the approval of the 250,000 items, the 2 executive session items, District 10 matters. And that's the list I have.
Are you saying something, Trina? 6 and 8, yeah. 6 is the monthly
I'm
capital
sorry,
projects.
monthly capital
report, and-
projects report,
And the financial report, right?
And the
6
financial
7.
report.
Okay,
6 and 7. Thank you.
okay. Our next meeting is August 2nd at 2 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and this meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.